Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, the XRP price action, and the SIGMA coin. So basically what we have is some moves off to the upside. We were thinking we would get our C leg closing up in this direction, somewhere in this region. And if you remember from this weekend's video, we talked about how this wouldn't be very big, potentially as one of the options. And it looks like we're getting that one. So we have a very, very aggressive crossing, almost like a leading rising wedge kind of play out here. Definitely an ABC correction to the upside to be a partner leg with this A leg to the upside with a B and now a C. So this looks like it's moving down to this direction. The acceleration of this price action is going pretty quick, so we'll see if it continues down or if we end up doing a more complex structure. But my suspicion is, based off the overall market and everything else, we're going to continue down here pretty aggressively, moving into the this 105 region, kind of wrapping up this final dump in the market before everything is finished. So somewhere down in this region, probably like I would say, yeah, there's some gaps over here on this volume, so we could probably expect to hit like 102, maybe even more. So we'll see exactly how this complex structure plays, but we should expect an ABC down now for Bitcoin. And with that, we've been having a lot of fun over here on XRP too, enjoying the journey. So we did see initially a 5-wave move off the lows, an ABC correction that took back a lower low, generally invalidating the overall move. And now this is questioned still in my mind due to the market cap price not setting a lower low that we have shown right here. So we ended up getting a higher low on the market cap. So I'm still intrigued on how this is going to play. But in the end, this ABC to the downside led to what's doing a setup for a flat, where we end up doing another ABC upwards. So let's jump back to the other chart and show that we had 5 waves to the upside, an ABC down, another 5 waves to the upside. But notice the cross, like lots of chop on top of each other, especially this leg. And we were hoping to get to 2.899 for this finished move. And instead, we ended up coming front run right here to 2.889. And this was right here in this region of the 886. So they couldn't even get the partner leg of this larger C direction to make its way up here. Since then, I drew this little picture yesterday thinking this is kind of how price action would play. And we had a 5-wave move to the downside. An A, B, C up is what I was looking for. And I was hoping that this morning was going to be our C leg, giving us a return to this price action of 286. But it doesn't look like that was in the cards. So this ended up becoming the ABC right here. And now we're beginning our descent down for the larger 5 waves. So we should lose this low here pretty soon. And once that low gets lost, we'll just continue cascading. And is the idea being that we can hold a higher low down here at the region of the 270s again as we backtest this final region here. So basically, we're just kind of moving into this direction here. Capitulation in the market is kind of finalizing. Notice though today that the Bitcoin price action is down 2%, but XRP is only down 1%. And in doing so, when we go to the XRP Bitcoin pairing and we zoom out, we can actually see that we have a continuation of this triangle wrapping up, and we're kind of grinding out of this level here. So it may take a little while. So when Bitcoin does fall and we lose this percentage to the downside, XRP will most likely itself perform better and hopefully have a less aggressive fall, finishing up this kind of initial flat structure that we have here. So if we go to a clean chart, you can just kind of see this would just be a final finishing wave 1, and then we do a flat for wave 2, finishing out either this completion of the C leg down to here or something else. Now, overall on Bitcoin XRP itself, we do not want to see a cross above this wave 1 top of 265. So I suspect if we do come back down and we do set a new low, we would not fall below this 265 level, and we would just be a shallow method, which is why I think we'll just do a running flat where it doesn't end up setting a new low overall. So basically we're just working our way back down again here. So I've flipped short after closing this out into the short time frames, and now the anticipation being that we will ultimately be able to relong down here at the bottom of the range and allowing us to move in and push higher. So this coincides with kind of like the finishing completion of the SIGMA coin. So when we look at the let me just get that back on the screen. There we go. So when we look back at the Sigma coin itself, we're just finishing up this final leg down here of this huge, massive bull flag that's been forming and structurally setting, consecutively lower highs, but then also lower lows. And it's just basically a massive absorption that we are working through, and we haven't even hit this 886 yet. And so I think ultimately that 886 target is where a lot of money is going to start coming in, and it may just slowly grind down there. Our 3-day RSI is doing a double tap, and if you notice right here, when we got to this RSI, we were down in the 220 range. We are back into or near that same 220 range at 299. So I'm expecting this over the next 3 days to just kind of curve and work its way back up, and we finish hopefully this breakdown quickly for XRP and everything else. So that's kind of the breakdown of the overall market at this point, super zoomed in. And again, this chop is what led us to recognize the ABC up. And now we're going to complete this 5-wave move to the downside with wave 1 and 2 already in, completing 3, 4, and 5, hopefully with a higher low. And that will be where we can long and go from there. So we'll check price action as we move down the mountain. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk soon.